These crimson threads are worth more than gold by weight, the most expensive spice ever traded on Earth. And every single strand is hand-pulled from a tiny purple flower that blooms for just 2 weeks each year. 150,000 flowers. That is what it takes to produce a single pound of finished saffron. From flower field to factory floor, this is the complete journey behind the world's most valuable spice. Inside this processing facility in Iran's Khorasan province, 300 workers transform delicate flowers into red gold. Iran produces over 90% of the world's entire saffron supply, more than 400 tons annually. This single facility processes over 4 tons of raw saffron every harvest season from 12,000 acres of crocus fields. From the moment flowers arrive to the moment sealed jars ship out, every step happens inside these walls within 48 hours. But before the factory there is the field, and this story begins 14 months before the first thread is ever pulled. Everything starts with a corm, a small bulb no larger than a walnut, buried 7 inches deep in dry soil. Each corm is placed individually by hand during June. No machines, no shortcuts across these ancient fields. A single hectare requires over 50,000 corms planted at precise spacing. 1 week of backbreaking labor per field. Once buried, the corms enter dormancy. For 4 months they rest underground, storing energy through brutal summer heat. On the surface, the fields look completely barren, but beneath the soil, the corms are slowly preparing for their moment. Careful irrigation keeps the soil alive without drowning the corms. Too much water and 50,000 bulbs rot overnight. The soil must be slightly alkaline with a pH between 6 and 8. Too acidic and the corms never develop properly. Across Khorasan, over 90,000 hectares of land are dedicated exclusively to saffron cultivation every planting season. Then as temperatures drop in late September, the first green shoots break through the surface, a sign the bloom is approaching. Within 2 weeks, the fields transform from bare dirt to dense clusters of green building toward the explosive bloom. In late October, the first purple buds appear, and inside each one sit the 3 crimson threads worth more than silver. When the petals finally open, 3 vivid stigmas are revealed, the only part of the entire flower that becomes saffron. Within 48 hours, the entire field blooms at once, transforming the landscape into a sea of purple. The harvest call goes out at 4 in the morning. By 4:30, 300 pickers fill the fields. Every flower must be picked before the sun climbs high enough to wilt the delicate stigmas inside. Each flower is pinched at the base and twisted free, a motion these workers repeat up to 15,000 times every morning. The fastest pickers harvest 2 flowers per second, their hands moving with decades of muscle memory guiding every twist. By sunrise, each basket holds over 5,000 flowers, and the morning is only half finished. The rising sun adds urgency. Heat causes stigmas to lose moisture and aromatic compounds within minutes of exposure. After 4 hours on their knees, the physical toll is enormous, but not a single flower can be left behind. Entire families participate in the harvest. Children bring food and water while grandparents sort the first baskets at the field edge. Many grandmothers have worked these same fields for 60 harvests, their fingers still faster than workers half their age. Quality control begins in the field. Wilted or damaged flowers are discarded before they ever reach a processing basket. The freshly picked flowers must reach the processing facility within 2 hours, or the stigmas begin losing potency. The trucks move fast. Every minute between field and factory costs aroma, color, and ultimately money. Inside the factory doors, the clock resets. Processing must begin within 30 minutes of arrival. On peak harvest days, over 1 million flowers arrive at this facility between 5 and 9 in the morning. This is the heart of saffron production, where 150,000 flowers become a single pound of spice. Each crocus contains exactly 3 stigmas, thin crimson threads no longer than 3 centimeters each. The extraction technique uses only thumbnails, no tweezers, no tools, just a practiced pinch perfected over years. Experienced workers maintain a rhythm of 25 flowers per minute, 75 individual threads extracted every 60 seconds. Across this hall, 40 workers process over 500,000 flowers per shift, and every thread is pulled by hand. A single worker separates roughly 12,000 flowers across an 8-hour shift at this table. These workers have been doing this since childhood. Many learned the technique from their mothers and grandmothers before them. The repetitive motion strains fingers and wrists. Workers rotate stations every 90 minutes to prevent injury. The fresh threads are stunning but impure. Yellow-style fragments mixed among the crimson must be removed before grading. For every gram of saffron extracted, the factory discards nearly 500 grams of flower material as waste. Nothing stops. As fast as flowers are processed, fresh deliveries from the fields replace them on the sorting tables. Each stigma weighs roughly 2 milligrams. It takes nearly 500 individual threads to fill a single 1-gram jar. The discarded petals aren't wasted entirely. Composted flower material returns to the fields as organic fertilizer for next season's corms. Supervisors monitor each table's output hourly. Consistency in extraction quality matters as much as raw speed. Different workers develop slightly different techniques over the years, but the result is identical: 3 clean threads per lower. First stage quality control begins immediately. Inspectors pick out every yellow fragment that would lower the final grade. Under magnification, the difference between premium crimson stigma and worthless yellow style becomes unmistakable. 3 commercial grades emerge from this sorting. Sargol, pure crimson tips, commands the highest price worldwide. After separation and sorting, the fresh saffron threads still contain nearly 80% moisture by weight. What happens in the drying room over the next 30 minutes will determine this saffron's final aroma, flavor, and market value. Fresh threads are spread no more than 2 centimeters deep across each screen. Thicker layers trap moisture and breed mold. This single drying room holds enough capacity to process the output from 2 million flowers simultaneously. Modern facilities use precision cabinets, holding exactly 45 degrees Celsius, the optimal temperature for chemical development. A single degree above 50 destroys the volatile aromatics. A single degree below 40 leaves too much moisture trapped inside. During drying, 3 critical compounds concentrate inside each thread: crocin for golden color, saffronal for aroma, picrocrocin for bitterness. Over 30 minutes, the threads lose 2/3 of their weight, moisture escaping while flavor compounds concentrate inside. When the cabinet door opens, the transformation is visible immediately. Bright orange threads have become deep concentrated crimson. Perfectly dried saffron snaps cleanly between fingers. If the thread bends instead of breaking, the batch returns for more drying. A single gram of properly dried saffron now holds the concentrated essence of over 450 hand-picked flowers. Dried batches from each shift are consolidated by grade and assigned a unique tracking number before moving to the laboratory. Humidity inside each cabinet is monitored continuously. If levels climb above 35%, the vent system activates automatically. The transformation is dramatic. Fresh threads weigh 3 times more and look entirely different from the finished product. The laboratory decides everything without its approval. Not a single gram of saffron leaves this building. Every batch undergoes 4 separate tests for moisture content, color strength, aroma intensity, and contamination levels. The color release test reveals potency in seconds. Premium saffron turns water-deep gold almost instantly upon contact. The spectrophotometer measures precise color intensity on an international scale, the single most important quality indicator. Anything above 260 on the ISO scale qualifies as premium sargal. This batch scored 278 exceptional quality. Moisture testing confirms the drying process worked. Premium saffron must contain less than 12% residual moisture. Gas chromatography measures saffronol concentration, the volatile compound responsible for saffron's unmistakable aroma signature. Every data point is logged digitally. Each batch receives a complete chemical profile that follows it from factory to customer. Without ISO certification, saffron cannot enter premium international markets. The difference between 5,000 and 10,000 per kilogram. Even after laboratory analysis, the final word belongs to the master graders, men with over 2 decades of sensory experience. The manual snap test confirms what machines measure. A clean fracture means the moisture balance is exactly right. By crushing and warming the threads between his palms, the grader releases aromatic compounds invisible to any machine. Only after passing both laboratory analysis and human evaluation does a batch receive the stamp to move forward. This rigorous testing exists for good reason. Saffron fraud is a billion-dollar global problem threatening the entire industry. Ultraviolet light instantly exposes counterfeits. Genuine saffron fluoresces deep red. Fakes made from dyed corn silk glow yellow-green. A single gram of counterfeit saffron costs pennies to manufacture. The genuine product it imitates trades at more than silver's market price. Modern authentication requires 5 separate tests. Any single method can be fooled, but passing all 5 is nearly impossible for counterfeit product. Under magnification, genuine saffron stigmas show a distinctive trumpet-shaped tip. Counterfeits made from corn silk have flat, uniform fibers. With every test passed and every seal applied, this saffron is cleared for its final transformation, packaging for the world market. The packaging line runs 6 days a week during harvest season, filling over 2,000 containers every hour. Authenticated saffron enters the hopper in bulk. Precisely measured doses will flow down into individual jars below. Every jar is filled to within 1/100th of a gram. At $10,000 per kilogram, even a fraction of a gram means dollars. From empty glass to sealed product takes less than 45 seconds as jars move through 4 automated stations. Tamper-evident caps click into place with precision, protecting the product through months of international transit. Holographic authentication labels carry unique QR codes linking each jar back to the exact field, harvest date, and test results. Every jar carries a traceable digital identity, the saffron industry's defense against a global counterfeiting epidemic. Final visual inspection catches any jars with inconsistent fill, broken threads, damaged seals, or crooked labels. If the threads clump instead of flowing freely, the moisture content is too high, and the jar is pulled from the line. Roughly 3% of filled jars fail final inspection and return to the line for correction or repackaging. Approved jars are nestled into padded inserts, each container cushioned to prevent thread breakage during the journey ahead. Each shipping box holds 10 individually packaged jars, together worth over $1,000 at wholesale pricing. On peak production days, this packing station fills over 200 master boxes before the afternoon shift ends. A single export pallet contains over $500,000 worth of authenticated saffron, one of the most valuable agricultural shipments on the planet. Temperature-controlled containers hold a steady 15 degrees Celsius, preserving the volatile aroma compounds across thousands of miles. From this loading dock in eastern Iran, saffron shipments reach Dubai in 48 hours and Europe within 5 days. The cold storage warehouse holds up to 50 pallets at any time, over $25 million of saffron waiting for shipment. Every international shipment requires phytosanitary certificates, customs declarations, and origin documentation from 3 separate agencies. Iranian saffron travels to over 60 countries, the crimson thread connecting ancient Persian agriculture to modern global kitchens. In Dubai's legendary spice souks, premium Iranian saffron sits behind glass cases alongside gold and precious gemstones. In Spain, saffron transforms humble rice into paella, the country's most celebrated national dish. In Iran itself, golden saffron rice with crispy tahdig has been the centerpiece of celebrations for 3 millennia. Across South Asia, saffron-infused golden milk and teas are treasured for their calming and restorative properties. From haute cuisine to cosmetics to traditional medicine, saffron reaches dozens of industries worth over $2 billion globally. In Kashmir, India's saffron heartland, harvesting traditions have passed from parent to child for 25 generations. Spain's La Mancha region produces Europe's most prized saffron, though at a fraction of Iran's enormous volume. Greek Kozani saffron holds a protected designation of origin, one of only a handful of spices with this European certification. Afghanistan's Herat province has become the world's second-largest saffron producer, offering farmers a legal alternative crop. In Morocco's Taliouine region, women's cooperatives have turned saffron harvesting into a powerful engine for economic independence. Beyond the kitchen, saffron has entered the luxury cosmetics industry, where a single gram of extract can flavor products worth hundreds of dollars. Though cultivated across 3 continents, Khorasan province alone outproduces every other saffron region on Earth combined. Back inside the factory, a new morning's harvest has already arrived, another 250,000 flowers waiting for skilled hands. Every morning during the 2-week harvest, this entire cycle repeats, from pre-dawn field to factory floor in under 2 hours. From a corm buried in dry soil to a sealed jar of crimson threads, the total journey spans 14 months of human patience. This factory alone produces enough packaged saffron every season to supply over 3 million individual servings of the spice. 1 gram of Sargol-grade saffron inside this jar required 450 hand-picked flowers and 6 separate quality inspections. Gram for gram, the finest Iranian saffron now trades at prices that exceed silver and approach gold on commodity exchanges. 150,000 flowers, 300 pairs of hands, 14 months from buried corm to sealed jar. That is how the world's most expensive spice is made, from a flower that blooms for just 2 weeks every year. If this journey fascinated you, subscribe and hit the bell, because next time we're heading inside a factory where 10,000 roses become a single bottle of perfume.